Hello guys, good morning, good afternoon and good evening, and welcome back to Football Manager 2023 with me, Dean, and welcome back to Croatia, where we are the manager of Sibenik in the Croatian first tier. Nation number 15 on our epic quest across Europe to win every top flight tier in the European nations that are in the game. Having completed 14 already, which is absolutely fantastic. We've reached the start of the new season. I said at the end of the last episode I was going to see where we were going to come back, whether it was last season or this season, depending on how the season went. Obviously we'll start there. We'll have a look at how last season went for us. The fact that we're back at the start of the new season, you can probably tell it went pretty well for us. We were well out of the relegation fight come the end of the season, and we weren't really pushing the top four for the European spaces. So we came back at the start of the new season because there wasn't really anything to show at the end of last season. We did have a fantastic run at the end of last season though. Obviously we took over with the Lokomotiva game. We only lost one of our games in charge so far, and it was to the team who finished bottom, unfortunately. We did beat the likes of Dinamo 2-1. Fantastic performance by the lads. We beat Osijek, who were finished second, 3-1. We've also we drew with Hajduk as well, which was absolutely fantastic. And I did think there was the possibility that the Hajduk job might become available, with them only finishing third. They are, I think these are ordered, possibly, in terms of job status. So Hajduk are down near the bottom. So we'll have to see how their season goes. But we're here as the manager of Sibenik. Financially, we're not looking very good. We're 2 million in debt. We had a decent transfer budget at the start of the season, wage budget wise as well. Not quite to the point where I can build a title-winning squad, although we may see what we can do. We've won leagues from similar positions. We've made a couple of decent signings, I think. We've made a lot of, again, youth prospects for the future. Most of them came in, the two big ones came in at the end of last season, and I've strengthened in the defence. I've brought in Vanja Martilan. He is a central defender. We've signed him from relegated Istra, so we met his relegation release clause of £240,000. A very good central defender. 23-year-old Croatian. He's tall, he's got good jumping reach, he's got good pace, he's got decent defensive attributes. The only problem with him is he does lack consistency, but he's had a very good start in pre-season for us. And then the other one who came in was, let's have a look, he was another central defender, Brezovec, another one he brought in from Slaven Belupo, who were struggling down near the bottom. But £375,000 again for another very, very good central defender, which I think it was the weakness in this squad last season. They actually conceded the second most goals in the league. So we've brought in another good central defender. He's absolutely fantastic for the type of club that we are. He's resolute as well. He's considered to be a leading player for most first division sides. So hoping that he can do some good things. Another young Croatian, 26 years old. This season though, we've brought in a couple of loans, but most of the players, like all of these, are future prospects. Alan Uranga, he's a left winger, but I'm retraining him as a segundo volante. He does have the attributes to play in that position. 16 years old though, so unfortunately I can't play him in the league. There's a few players like that who I've brought in. The likes of Miguel Angel Rodriguez, again, another can be good segundo volante. Got some potential to fill, 18 years old, was free. If anything, it's a sell on for the club in future. The ones who I have brought in who could possibly be starting though is Dennis Miel. He is another young man, 17-year-old Italian. He's got some decent potential. He's not too bad as a left back. He's definitely a backup though in this squad because we have brought in a left back on loan, and that is Dion Crossweight Duasa. He's coming on loan from Manchester United, of all teams. He's very, very capable of being a good left back at this level, although it does say leading for most second league sides. But I think he's quite good. And we're only paying, in fact, we're paying £3,500 of his wages, so that's why we're over the wage budget. But the other player who's coming on loan is Jean-Emmanuel Huey, defensive midfielder on defend, in on loan from Le Mans. We're paying quite a large chunk of his wages, nearly £6,000, and we're also paying a fee as well to Le Mans. But I do think that it's an improvement to the squad. So that's good. We've also moved a couple of players on, a couple of fringe players, wingers, who obviously we don't use wingers anymore. So in terms of the squad, it's pretty much the same as last season. 2 central defenders, a defensive midfielder and a left back to try and propel us up the league. And it has actually improved our odds of being up there. We're down to 51s. That was 34s not too long ago. So obviously Dinamo have made a decent signing somewhere, and that's extended our odds even further. Just, you may note there as well, Varaždin did get promoted as champions, using some of my good players that I brought in from them, some of my young Belgians who I brought in. If we have a look at their senior squad, we're sorted by potential. These top 3 are my signings. Very good players. This guy here is my signing. So some very, very good young Belgians, believe it or not. For some reason in Football Manager 23, Belgium is an absolute hotbed of young talent. This guy's fantastic. He's Moroccan, but he was in the Belgian leagues. He's absolutely unreal. I think he'd make a fantastic advance forward with Mohamed Regragui. So that's how things stand up this season, guys. We're 51s. Now, we might be a little bit too far away in terms of odds. It all depends on how things go for us. We are going to take on our first game of the season today. It is against Varaždin, our former club. You may notice that we did face them in pre-season as well, which we comfortably won 4-0. So expecting the same again today. We may even do Rijeka as well. Well, I was just about to go through the first starting lineup of the season, and I completely missed a player who we brought in, and that is Carsten Pettersson. He is another defensive midfielder, young Austrian. Again, I believe brought in from Belgium. No, he actually brought in from Austria. On a free transfer. This one, again, natural as an attacking midfielder, but has got the attributes to play as a segundo volante. If we just quickly stick that on attack, you can see he's very, very good in that position at 20 years old. He can also still improve. Does lack a little bit of pace, which is a little bit annoying. But we'll see how he gets on as in that position. So the lineup that we're going to start the season with, it's going to be Skorlic in goal. Just signed a new contract as well. Dalla Rosa, a 20-year-old Brazilian, is actually fairly decent. So he's going to start as the right back for this season. He's also interchangeable with Tomljanovic, who's actually currently suspended for this first game. They picked up suspensions at the end of last season. Has Brena Leon. So unfortunately, they don't make the starting lineup for today. But it's the 2 new centre halves starting today, and then the on loan Manchester United player starting at left fullback. Fernandez is not really suited to this segundo volante role, which is why I was looking to replace him. He is more of a left back, but he's not the best left back at the club. He is going to start today in the midfield as a segundo volante. He's not too bad, other than he's off the ball and his finishing, which I've seen quite a lot in the highlights. He gets into really, really good positions, which is what the volante on attack allows him to do, but then it's just no end product. So Pettersson, Hugh and Fernandez as the midfield. Up top, we're sticking with Luciano, another Brazilian, fairly decent. Did score some goals for me towards the back end of last season, got 18-22 in all competitions. Katona is going to start up top again, another one who scored a few goals for me last season. You may notice as well, I've dropped from 3 advanced forwards to 1 as a poacher, just trying to experiment a little bit. And then Lota is going to take Leon's place today. He's a young Croatian who is not too bad going forward. So we'll see how he gets on, but we're a little bit lacking in that department, particularly with us playing 3 of them. So that's the first starting lineup today, guys, facing off against our former team in Varaždin. So hopefully we can do the business. And we're underway. Let me just change this back to key highlights because pre-season I'd like to have them on comprehensive, so I can see a bit more of what's going on particularly with new players, see the sort of positions they're getting into. Obviously, for recording purposes, we do have them on key highlights. I did also manage to get the 3D kits to work as well in the match engine and stuff like that. We've updated the kits for this season, so they're all fresh. It was something I did in the config files. But we are on the attack early on. It's Fernandez finding Hugh to crossfade Duasa. We might just call him Crossfade. Brezovic picks up the ball, finds the Brazilian De La Rosa with a good ball towards that back post. It's headed by Luciano, but it has unfortunately gone wide of the post. But it's a decent start, and we're straight into another one. It's Domenech, the man who made our lives a misery at Varaždin. We do win the header, but it's Vuk, Azanovic, Kalatanak feeding the ball down the line. Well cut out by Brezovic, and now Pettersson finds Lota. Lota with the ball towards Luciano inside the penalty area. Can he pull it across for a teammate? No, he cuts back instead, finds Fernandez, and that's exactly what I was saying in the pre-match build-up. He gets himself into those positions, but his finishing is just dreadful. But a corner towards the back post, and Brezovic hits the crossbar. Fernandez feeds the ball back in towards Luciano. It's hacked clear though. Right, 22 on the clock. We are dominant, guys. We are dominating. Brezovic's winning all of these headers. Pettersson finds Martilian. Crossfade feeds it forward towards Katona. Now Fernandez looking down the line towards Luciano. Gets the ball across. It's cut out by Vieira though. And now Canertz, who's another one of our signings at Varaždin, clears the ball. But Martilian picks it up. Feeds it inside to Hugh. Finds Crossfade Duasa over the top looking for Katona. But it's not going to get there. Crossfade picks it up his own. Ball, gets it into the box. It's in the back of the net from David Katona. I'm not quite sure how that went in. It looked like an own goal to me. I don't know how it got through to Katona. But 23 minutes and we're 1-0 up, which is fantastic. It's good work by Crossway Duasa to get the ball across. Let's just see what actually happened here. See, to me that looks like an own goal by Blondie here. I've forgotten how to pronounce his name. Krunchek. Looked like an own goal to me. I'm not going to complain though, guys. It's 1-0. We're winning. Crossway finds Fernandez. Back to Crossway again. Driving into the area. Has his own effort on his right foot. It's a decent effort by the on-loan Manchester United player. Unfortunately for us, it has gone over the bar. But we are keeping Varaždin very, very quiet so far in this game. They've had one shot in 37 minutes. They're looking to change that though. It's Azanovic getting the ball in towards Jozanovic. It's... What? What are you on about penalty? What? Oh, no. What the hell was that? Come on, Football Manager. It's going to be Catalanak to take the penalty. And that, do you know what? That's justice. Justice, because I don't know how that was a penalty. But we're on the move again. Lota finding De La Rosa. Down the line to Lota again. Good ball into the box towards Fernandez. Can't quite get there. It's headed clear by Bay, but Crossfade Duasa is going to get there. Gets the ball back into the box. Hacked clear by Vieira. Martilian picks it up. Finds Hugh over the top looking for Pettersson. Headed clear by Catalanak. Back into the box by De La Rosa. Cleared again. Fernandez with the effort. And it's another poor effort by Fernandez. But still... The pressure comes. We don't win that header though, but we do win the challenge with Hugh. It's 4-on-4 at the back here. It's a poor ball forward towards Luciano. Fernandez does get there though. Can he put it across for Katana? He can. Katana gets his second goal of the game to make it 2-0. Good work by Fernandez again. Like I say, he's getting into those positions. He just needs to not shoot, really. But it's good work by Hugh to win the ball back. This was a little bit questionable. Definitely a foul there by Bay, but the referees played advantage. Fernandez with the ball across. It's deflected off Krunchek by Katona's shot. And it's deceived Domenech in goal there for Varaždin. But 2-0 before half-time is a fantastic start to the season. And Lota's pinched the ball again. And now Luciano driving forward over the halfway line. Surrounded by blue shirts, though. He needs some support. Comes back inside. Finds Hugh to Fernandez. Got Crossfade out on the left-hand side. Good ball into the box, looking for Luciano. It's headed clear by Krunchek though, but and Azanovic is going to come further away, but De La Rosa's pestering, and we force them to just hack the ball clear. It's going to be picked up by Brezovic. Goes all the way back to Skorlic in goal. Finds Crossway Duasa. Good play by the boys there to switch the play. Crossway driving over the halfway line again. I think he's going to be a really good signing. Feeds the ball down the line towards Luciano. Cuts back. Gets the ball in. It's deflected to Fernandez. He's hit the woodwork. And they've managed to get it clear. But still Hugh. Pettersson into Katona looking for his hat-trick. And it's deflected over the top for the corner. Which is going to be taken by Crossway Duasa. It's towards that near post. It's headed clear by Vuk. And Jozanovic helps it further on. De La Rosa to get it back into the box, but no, we're going to get half-time instead. 21 shots in the first half, guys. That shows you just how dominant we've been. Varazdin are not in this game at all. Catalanec's having a shocker, which is good. Good to see. My signings are not doing too bad. And we're on the attack again. The ball looped forward over the top towards Luciano. Pulls it back. It's cleared by Vuk, though, but Luciano's going to get there, keep the ball in play. Comes inside, feeds the ball back to Martian. Back out to Crossway, feeding the ball into Luciano. Great pass into Katona. There is his hat-trick. David Katona gets an opening day hat-trick. I think that little poacher position, that little switch that we've done in the tactics, is paying dividends. It's working really, really well. It's good play again. Nobody tracks Luciano's run. If you watch him here, it's a good ball forward by Crossway and a decent cross. And Katona applies the finish to make it 3-0. And we're still coming forward. Crossway with a corner. It's headed clear by Vieira, though, but Pettersson gets it back into the mix. It's head tennis in there. Brezovic brings it down. Martian looking for Katona for his fourth. Dominic makes the save. Corner again. This one towards Brezovic. He's hit the crossbar. We're expecting big things from set pieces again, just like we were last season when we were the manager of Varazdin. We're expecting the centre halves to get some goals from these corners. But Varazdin have got one back through Luca Vecchi. He is one of the players who was there with us last season. We were training him to be a striker. He's got the attributes to do it. Obviously, Varazdin are playing, I think they're playing a 4-4-2. So they've moved him back into the right of midfield. They are indeed playing a 4-4-2. But that's disappointing to concede one, especially as that was our downfall last season from when we took over the club. We could potentially concede two here. It's a deep free kick towards Chernek, but it's headed clear. Luciano, can he bring the ball forward? Forced back towards Crossway Duasa. Down the line again to Luciano. Nice little bit of skill there to get away from his man. He's still going. He's fouled. No, he's not. They've taken each other out. Luciano driving forward. Oh, he can't quite get the finish in. That would have been one hell of a goal by Luciano, forcing the Varazdin players to take themselves out. But Crossway, can he deliver this time from the corner towards Brezovic again? It's headed clear again, and it's helped further on. But Crossway is going to pick up the ball. Do you know what? I've lost track of how many corners we've had now. It's another one. Crossway towards the back post this time. We've hit the woodwork again from the corner. How many corners? 14. 14 corners, guys, to Varazdin's none. And approaching the end of the game, we're still looking to bag a fourth goal. It's Martian. Takes it past his man. Great ball to Crossway. He's in acres of space. Can he pull it across? It's Luciano to make it 4. Crossway's going to get the assist there. I don't think he did quite get the assist, but you know, it's another good bit of play by the wing back. He's getting himself into those positions to get the ball in the box. It's a fantastic pass. Crossway's all by himself. It's not the best of pullbacks, but you know, Luciano's there. He's applied the finish, and 4-1 on the opening day of the season is absolutely fantastic, and it could get even worse for Varazdin. It could be 4-2. We'll see. Vieira goes along, though. We should win the header. We do with Martian, but it's Hendia picks it up. Krunchek, ball over the top, looking for Dulai. Pulls the ball back to Boksic. Boksic gets it into the box. The goalkeeper's made one hell of an error there, and Crossfate's had to clear it for him. I don't know what Skorlic was doing there, but a thoroughly dominant victory. David Katona rightfully picking up the man of the match with his hat-trick. Luciano's played really well as well. Crossfate has had a fantastic game for us there. And there's confirmation, guys. After the first game of the season, we do find ourselves at the top above a Dinamo on goal difference, which is a great start to the season. I think I'm just going to do the one game today, guys. Obviously, I'm conscious of the length of the episode as well. I don't want them to be stupidly long. So we'll just do the one. We'll come back a third of the way through the season. You know, could be around about this sort of area. Hajduk maybe, Dinamo. We'll get a couple of games in. But guys, thank you very much as always for watching. Please remember to hit that thumbs up button for me and the subscribe button as well. It does really help me out. All your comments are welcome as well. How do you think we're going to do with Sibenik this season? Can we win the Croatian title? Can we dethrone Dinamo? Let's find out. But guys, thank you very much for being here, and I'll see you all next time. Cheers, guys.